Chapter 67. Exploring Fengdu at Night. Fairy is overpraised. Kang Chon smiled sarcastically. He couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. Snubbing a beautiful woman like this, if others knew, they would definitely cut him into 1,000 pieces. Gongzi doesn't need to be self-effacing, right? Slave happens to know a casting pavilion, where the masters there refine out magic treasures that are none other than fine products. Just allow Slave to take Gongzi over there. Flower, thinking wrong, seemed to have thought of something. A hint of a smile appeared in her bright eyes. Suddenly it was like a group of flowers blooming. There were people passing by in the surroundings. Minus one of them were attracted by this smile of hers, causing no small amount of confusion. Kang Chon was also lost in thought for a while, but immediately he was in tears. This is really lifting a stone and stoning his own feet. He didn't want to casually find an excuse, but in the end he ended up like this, with flowers wanting to be in the room. How could he explore the stronghold of the corpse-catching sect? Gongzi, Gongzi, what happened to you? Wanyong saw Kang Chon standing there in a daze, couldn't help but call out twice. No, nothing, Kang Chon stammered and said. Then with some hesitation, said, this kind of small thing, or don't bother, Flower Fairy. Fairy, why don't you tell me where that casting pavilion is? Your honor is polite. Slave happens to want to go and build a magic treasure as well. It's just on the way. Flower, thinking wrong, smiled and said, surprisingly revealing the mischievous look of a little girl, looking at Kang Chon for a while, but was immediately awakened by the egg yolks teasing in his mind. Haha, kid, this girl is probably looking at you. Hurry up and seize the opportunity. Maybe next year there will be a little Kang Chon. Emperor Dan laughed. Old unashamed, Kang Chon blushed and cursed, then coughed and said to Flower, thinking wrong, in that case, then I'll trouble Fairy Flower. Sir, there is no need to be courteous. Yesterday's trouble was due to my slave, so today will be taken as an atonement for the offense. Wanyong smiled faintly, then turned around to lead the way. A hint of cunning appeared in her eyes after she turned around. But Kang Chon behind her couldn't see it, or else he must have exclaimed that he had been fooled. In fact, with Wanyong's intelligence, how could she not see Kang Chon's kind of rhetoric of excuses? But it was precisely because she could see it that she was very curious. Other young jungles were eager to follow her ass, but this mysterious young man didn't have much regard for her, which made her unconsciously want to get to know the other party. Kang Chon didn't know what Wuxia's mind was thinking. At the moment he was full of depression as he followed behind the beautiful woman. He didn't care about the envious gazes of the people around him who were looking at him. If he could, he would rather have the roles swapped. The two of them traveled along the way. Kang Chon once again learnt quite a lot of news about the cultivation world from Wanyong's mouth. The other party was after all the 7 heroes of the Great Tang Dynasty, and had been breaking into the cultivation world for a longer period of time than he had, and so naturally he had obtained more information than he had. Your Excellency, do you know that because of the news of the rise of the corpse-catching sect, there are already quite a few young experts from the Great Tang who have dared to head towards Fengdu City? And I heard that they are going to fight it out in Fengdu City, Wuxia said softly. Oh, what does their duel have to do with the corpse-catching sect? Kang Chon was puzzled. It's simple. There are quite a few forces in the Great Tang that don't want to see the rise of the corpse-catching sect. So they want to join forces to eradicate the corpse-catching sect, and these young masters represent all the major forces. And their duel is a test run for all the major forces. After all, even if they join forces, they still need to be divided into primary and secondary. A hint of mockery appeared in Wuxia's eyes. It seems that Fengdu City will soon become the center of a storm. Kang Chon sighed with a sniff. Haha. Heroes come out of the chaotic world. Young experts from all sides are waiting for the time to make a splash, and thus Yongming, cultivation world. With Lord Kang Chon's strength, he would definitely surprise them at that time. Flower thinking wrong said with a smile. Fairy overpraise, with the Imperial Capital 4 and the Great Tang 7. I'm not even close. Kang Chon smiled faintly. Huoqianrong laughed softly and didn't say anything else as the two travelled along and soon arrived at a casting pavilion. This casting pavilion was located in the center of the city, very close to Fengdu City's workshop market. Hundreds of magic treasures were placed inside, which really startled Kang Chon. It was worthy of being the place introduced by Huoqianrong. It was really high class. Stinky old man, how many times has this young lady told you? This place has to be designed according to this young lady's drawings. Hurry up and refine it for this young lady. As soon as the two of them, Kang Chon and Huoqianrong, stepped into this casting pavilion, they saw a black-clothed, short-haired little girl arguing with an old man who was currently red-faced, with his two thick white eyebrows arched up, appearing to be very angry. Little girl, according to this drawing design of yours, the power is less than 1/10 of the original, which is different from the casting realm that the old man is pursuing. The old man's face was furious as he threw the drawings in his hands aside. This young lady cares about your bullshit casting realm. You just have to refine this magic treasure according to this young lady. The black-clothed, short-haired little girl threw a magic treasure in her hand at the old man and said with a glare. You. The old man was so angry that he blew his mustache and glared. A trace of surprise flashed in Kang Chon's eyes. The magic treasure held in the hand of the little girl in black, with short hair, was shaped like a shovel. He really didn't know who would use such a thing as a magic treasure for fighting. It's her. How did this little devil come to Fengdu City as well? While Kang Chon was surprised at the magic treasure in the hands of that black-clothed, short-haired little girl, Flower thinking wrong, who was on the side, suddenly let out a cry of alarm and immediately pulled Kang Chon aside to hide. However, Flower thinking wrong was destined to be in vain because of her beauty. As soon as she came in, she attracted the attention of everyone in this foundry hall. And that black-clothed, short-haired little girl who was arguing with the old man also immediately noticed her. It's Sister Flower. While Kang Chon was puzzled, that black-clothed, short-haired little girl had already seen Huoqianrong, and her eyes instantly lit up as she quickly ran over. She was incredibly fast, and in an instant, she appeared in front of Huoqianrong. Kang Chon's eyes condensed. This little girl was not simple. He carefully sized up the other party. This was a little girl of about 15 or 16 years of age, with a clear look, not much grooming, and a head of short hair that was messy, looking like a little boy, except for those two big eyes that were watery and very cute. Sister Flower, you also came. I just got my hands on a batch of goods, among which there are several ancient paintings. Do you want to take a look? The black-clothed, short-haired little girl pulled Huoqianrong's hand, as if she was a little girl who was offering a treasure to an adult. Kang Chon was very confused as he listened from the side. He looked at Huoqianrong and found that the other party's face was very odd. Why did you come to Fengdu City? Huoqianrong said with an odd face, and said that he even patted the little girl's clothes, but a puff of dust flew up. Kang Chon was dumbfounded at the side. What did this little girl do to get all this dust? Moreover, he saw Huoqianrong's face getting more and more odd, as if she had encountered some kind of headache. My brother wanted to capture me back to make amends to those old guys, so I snuck out on my own. Sister Huo, you can't tell my brother. The black-clothed, short-haired little girl beamed. Don't worry, I won't tell your brother, but you also need to go back quickly, otherwise your parents will be very worried. Huoqianrong glanced at the black-clothed, short-haired little girl in front of her with some headache. Well, after I finish this job, I will immediately return to the Imperial capital. The little girl in black, with short hair, nodded. Kang Chon was listening from the sidelines, not knowing what they were talking about. Well then, take care of yourself. Flower thinking wrong wanted to say something, but in the end, she didn't say anything more. "Sister, won't you go with me to look at those ancient paintings?" The little girl in black, with short hair, continued to ask. No, I still have some things to do. Next time you can show me." Flower, thinking wrong, sniffed and shook her head hurriedly, then hurriedly left, disappearing within Kang Chon's line of sight in the blink of an eye. "Hey, sister, what?" The black-clothed, short-haired little girl wanted to call out, but found that Flower, thinking wrong, had already disappeared, and couldn't help but beep her mouth, full of doubt. Strange. What is Sister Flower going to do when she leaves in such a hurry? I still want to study the art with her. Alas, it seems that she can only wait for the next opportunity. After saying that, the black-clothed, short-haired little girl went back to continue arguing with that old man, not even looking at Kang Chon, who was on the side. What's going on here? Kang Chon couldn't help but touch his nose before he could figure out what was going on. Flower, thinking wrong, had left. Truly, a woman's heart was a needle under the sea. Kang Chon shook his head, and after glancing at the black-clothed, short-haired little girl who was still arguing with that old man, he hurriedly left this casting hall. Now that there was no Flower, thinking wrong, to disturb him, he happened to take the opportunity to search for the corpse-catching sect stronghold in Fengdu City. However, Fengdu City was so big that it wasn't easy to search for the stronghold of the corpse-catching faction. Furthermore, the stronghold of the corpse-catching sect was definitely hidden in the shadows and unknown, so it was really hard to find it. Kang Chon did not find anything even after half a day in Fengdu City, so he had no choice but to return to Haoyu residence. He was going to go to Fengdu Mountain at night to find out what was going on. Maybe there would be some gains. The moon was like a silver disc, and the sky was full of stars. In the silent night, Kang Chon, dressed in black clothes, hurriedly left Haoyu residence and ran in the direction of Fengdu Mountain. Alas, the young people nowadays are truly more powerful than one another. In a courtyard of the Haoyu residence, a blue-clothed old man had his hands behind his back as he watched Kang Chon leave. Beside him, there was a yellow-clothed old man who said with a smile, "I've been paying attention to this little guy for a long time. Even though he only has a cultivation of 4 revolutions, his true strength isn't much worse than even the Great Tang." 7. I really don't know which old monster tuned him out. The Heavenly Tao Sect's disciple acceptance ceremony is just around the corner. All the forces have sent their heirs out to train. There are not a few young experts like this, the blue-clothed old man said. A gathering of heroes. I just don't know who will be able to laugh at the Great Tang in the end. The yellow-clothed old man was filled with anticipation. I heard that the 7 warriors of the Great Tang have already come to Fengdu City, one after another. And soon there will be a battle of peak youth experts, so we will be able to watch a hilarious battle then. The blue-clothed old man laughed. Regardless of their young people's matters, I'd better hurry back to watch over that little girl who is causing trouble everywhere for the better, so as to save this little devil from causing evil everywhere again. The yellow-clothed old man waved his hand and said, "Then you have to be quick. I heard that she went to find old Iron Head to refine a shovel today, and now she's probably already gone to Fengdu Mountain." The blue-clothed old man laughed. "What? Why didn't you old man say that earlier? Forget it. I'll settle the score with you when I come back." The yellow-clothed old man's face darkened at the words, and with a swish, he even flatly stepped into the air. If Kang Chon was here to see, it must be shocked, stepping into the air without the help of a magic treasure. That was a means that only a Yuanying stage expert could possess. All old and still so acute. The blue-clothed old man shook his head and disappeared in a flash. Fengdu Mountain stretches 4,000 of miles, but not an inch of grass grows. All the mountain ranges are shrouded by yin-chi all year round, never allowed to see the sunlight. Even the starlight at night can't be seen. It's pitch black everywhere. Kang Chon ran as if flying, weaving in and out of the darkness, running towards Fengdu Mountain. In the darkness, the huge Fengdu mountain seemed like a monster that was devouring living beings, exuding a cold and gloomy aura. From afar, it looked like a black mist. It was only when he reached the foot of Fengdu mountain that Kang Chon saw the nature of the black mist clearly. It was not an ordinary cloud, but a thick and almost substantial yin qi.